What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast and the show. This is episode 36, and in this episode, I do a deep dive on how storytelling can help you build your business, your brand, and your personal brand online and on social media. So, stick around for the episode, guys. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast and the show. Happy Thursday to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Now, for this episode, I want to do a deep dive on how storytelling can impact your business and your potential customers and your potential clients. Now, storytelling is a very key component when it comes to running a business or running a personal brand. It dictates how you want your brand or your company or your personal brand to look. So when you go into detail of how you can help people, how you can help them grow their business or build their personal brand, it helps elevate them and their brand. And you can say, well, hey, let's check out this person because he's a expert on this topic. And especially if you wrote a book, because if you're an author, you can start out your intros. We'll say, hey, I'm Chad Phillips, and I'm the CEO of 2020 NWS, and I wrote a book called how to build your personal brand and your following using social media online, and then dive right into the episode or into the video or podcast episode or Zoom meeting or whatever it is. So having that authority and building that authority, gives you credibility, gives your team value, and they'll know to trust you and how you can build your trust and authority using social media and using YouTube. So, and even if it includes podcasting, we'll say, hey, uh, check us out on Spotify. We're the number one podcast right now that's trending, or we're top 10 on iTunes, and feel free to check us out because we post some amazing good content. And it gives the viewer a deeper perspective of how they can trust you and how you can build a following with them. And it's so very important on how you can get clients, build your authority on, if it's YouTube, if it's Instagram, if it's Facebook, because everybody is on different platforms nowadays, whether it's podcasting, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, uh, whether it's, you know, Trello, whether it's Pinterest, whatever, or whatever platform you're using, build your authority on that platform because it's so very important that you do that. And one tip that I can give you is that, number one, have a story to tell. Like, have if like, say for instance, when I started my company, I didn't know what I was doing, and when I started it, I had a vision of where I wanted my company to go, and so on and so forth. And then you can, hook the audience in and go from there. And it's like so very important for you to do that. So just be aware of who you're communicating to, what you're doing, and how you can bring value to that your audience and your potential subscribers, that if you're doing YouTube, your potential subscribers, and if you keep putting out content and you know you'll hook them in, will saying, hey, if you guys enjoyed this, feel free to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And those are the three key metrics that will hook the viewer into your show or your podcast. If you're doing it online, it'll hook them in, and they'll want to come back for more. Because if you're pumping out episodes either weekly, daily, or periodically, it will give them value and say, well, hey, you know go check this guy out on the Daily Social Podcast. He put out some amazing content, and he's built his authority online, and he knows what he's talking about, so he's a real deal. So you guys could go and check him out. And it's so important that you build that on there, and don't give up. It's gonna be hard. It's going to be hard, trust me. And just keep pushing, just like keep going forward. And it's so very important that you build that authority, build that trust. And even if you're just to stand out, make your content different. Because some people, they use like the same thumbnails, the same backgrounds and everything. Like, stand out, do something different. Put up like some extra lighting in the background, or put up a lighting that represents your brand, or whatever the case is. And if they see that like on a live stream, or yeah, if you're doing like a live stream, a live radio show, or whatever the case is, it will present to the viewer, will say, hey, he's got a cool background and he knows what he's talking about because he's built this trust with us. And it's like it'll click for them, and they'll want to know more. They'll want to subscribe. They'll want to subscribe to your show or your YouTube channel, or follow you on Instagram, because you've built that trust over months, weeks, years. And it's so very important that you do that. And it just, for me, when it comes to building that authority online, is very very important that you have a story to tell. Because if you don't have a story to tell, you can't build trust and build that authority, and get recognized for your accomplishments online, or in the in public. And you go to events or whatever, and they say, well, hey, he's a best-selling author of the number one book on Amazon. And give that intro of like who you are. And once you go out on stage, you have that authority. You have that you have them like in the palm of your hand. And it just reinforces the aspect of the audience, and they'll think to themselves, well, hey, he knows what he's doing because he's on stage. He's written like multiple books, hosted a awesome podcast show, and just he's an all-around great guy because he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. So if you know what you're doing, it makes the audience want to know more. Or if you guys are like putting out new content or whatever the case is, it just reinforces the aspect of how to grow your channel, or grow your brand, or your following online. So make sure, number one, to stand out. Build, have something If you're doing a live show, have something in the background, or have like your awards or from like YouTube or whatever. Like if you're on Forbes or whatever, have that like sitting in the background, so when your camera's on and you're like doing a live audio podcast for your show or whatever, and you're like doing Zoom or whatever, the people that will, watch your show um on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you are like broadcasting it from, they'll see that, and they'll recognize you as, the authority figure, and want to learn more from you, and get tips, get tricks, gain insight on like what you're about, who you help, how you serve your community, and bring value to your community as a whole, and you know and to your following and to your base. So, and number two, you want to build trust, because without trust, they are definitely not going to follow you. They're definitely not going to, if you just have that, if you just have the authority, and and nothing to go with that, it really just brings down the aspect of you not having a base, not having a following, not having, the community behind you. If you don't build the trust with your potential subscribers or your potential fans or your potential client, if you don't build that trust with them, they're not going to follow you or subscribe or, be part of your community if you don't build that trust with them. And then number three, you want to, build relationships with them. So authority, trust, and number three would be relationships. You want to, find out what they do, find out how their community is, find out, what they're doing and what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and like see where you can help, see where you can step in. Like, like if you're having trouble, building a podcast or hosting a live show, you as the expert can, teach them how to, you engage a community, engage a fan base, engage potential subscribers that will want to watch your show. It will be painful and slow at first, but once you start amassing a following, like getting 250,000 fans or 500,000 fans or a million or 10 million fans on the internet, whether it's YouTube, podcasting, or wherever else, on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever else, and you built that authority over time and over years, because it just, having the authority and having trust and building a following and everything like that, it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes years on top of years to build. So those are my three tips for you today. So if you guys did like this episode, feel free to subscribe to wherever you guys get your podcasts. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you guys did enjoy the show and the episode. And if you guys are new and you guys want to learn more, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to us on, whether it's Apple, Spotify, iTunes, iCatcher, wherever you guys get your podcasts. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and it'll really, really help out the podcast and the channel. And yeah, guys, if you guys want to know more, feel free to send us a message or hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at the Daily Social Podcast. We'll love to hear from you, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks so much, guys, for listening to our show. If you guys want to know more, feel free to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. We'll leave our at csnakedoc13 or follow the show at the Daily Social Podcast. If you guys want to know more, feel free to connect with me. And if you guys are interested in being a guest on our show, uh, feel free to send me a message on Twitter or Instagram at tsnakedoc13, and we will get you guys all ready for your debut. Or if you guys have done podcasts and you guys want to be a guest, feel free to let us know that as well. So thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you guys on the next episode of the show. Take care, guys.